Welcome to Fairy Moon. In a faraway land, let's
There
start
was
with
another
another
interesting
interesting where
fairy
all
tale.
sorts of creatures lived in harmony. Among them was a young fairy named Eliza. She was a kind-hearted fairy, loved by all her fellow forest inhabitants. Eliza had a special gift that no other fairy had. She could communicate with animals in their own language. One day, while wandering through the forest, Eliza came across a wounded fox. The fox had been injured by a hunter who had come into the forest to hunt for animals. Eliza knew that she had to do something to help the fox. She tended to its wounds, and after a few days, the fox was able to walk again. The fox was grateful to Eliza and promised to help her in any way possible. A few days later, while Eliza was sleeping, the fox saw a group of humans heading towards the forest. The fox knew that they were hunters, and they were going to harm the animals in the forest. The fox immediately woke up Eliza and told her about the hunters. Eliza knew that she had to protect the animals in the forest. She immediately went to the other animals and told them about the hunters. The animals were frightened and didn't know what to do. They had never seen humans before and didn't know how to defend themselves. Eliza then came up with a plan. She called upon all the animals in the forest to gather together. She told them that they had to work together to protect themselves. She asked the birds to fly high in the sky and keep an eye on the hunters. She asked the squirrels to gather all the acorns and create a pile that would block the hunters' path. The deer were asked to create a diversion by running in one direction, while the rabbits were asked to create another diversion by running in the opposite direction. Eliza knew that the hunters would be confused and would not be able to find their way in the forest. The animals worked together, and the plan was successful. The hunters were confused and could not find their way through the forest. They eventually left, and the animals in the forest were safe once again. The animals were grateful to Eliza for saving their lives. They knew that they could always count on her to protect them. The fox, in particular, was grateful to Eliza. He knew that without her, he would not have survived. He decided to do something special for Eliza to show his appreciation. The fox knew that Eliza loved flowers, so he decided to create a garden of flowers for her. He worked tirelessly, day and night, to create the most beautiful garden in the forest. He used all sorts of flowers, from roses to daisies, and made sure that each one was in its perfect place. When Eliza woke up and saw the garden, she was overwhelmed with emotion. She knew that the fox had created the garden for her, and she was touched by his kindness. She thanked the fox and told him that she would never forget what he had done for her. From that day on, the garden became known as the fairy garden. All the animals in the forest would come to visit the garden and would marvel at its beauty. If you loved my story, please like and subscribe.